Hey guys, what's up? Um, Going through here, didn't know if anybody would be curious as to the stuff that I use to record music. What I use Music Studio 9 by Sony because back in the day I had a copy of Acid Pro 6.0 and it was awesome and it worked and that's just what I got comfortable with. So when I built this PC, I went with Music Studio 9 because it was cheaper than Acid Pro 12 or 13 or whatever they're on. And I do have limited funds, but uh, I use it for the basic recording and layout of every. Excuse me, now I got the hiccups all of a sudden. For the arrangement of the tracks and for general tracking, use Easy Drummer for the drums. I got the Pop and Rock kit, came with Cocktail when I bought it, and then I got the drum kit from Hill and the Metal Machine expansions. Most of the time, especially lately, I use Metal Machine. I just like how it sounds. Um, but especially the bass drums. In the past, most of my older stuff consists of the drum kit from Hell, but I would use whatever that is for the snare, and I think I left everything else alone. Pretty sure I left everything else alone. But like the older songs, this is the drum kit that was used. But for everything else, right now, currently, I'm using this drum kit. Once in a while, I use the Pop and Rock one for whatever. Depends on the purpose. Same thing with guitars. My guitars all basically suits certain needs. Like I have a black Dean ML Phantom X that I use for drop B and open B tuning. You can hear that on the 10-ton hammer cover, and there's a couple songs on Impossible Probabilities that are tuned to open B that I use it on. Then I got a 1980 wood natural wood finished Gibson SG that I use. It's tuned in open C. I use that on predominantly it's on Devastation, the Devastation songs, and the rest the open C songs on Impossible Probabilities. Also, a couple songs here and there on the Spirits that are in open songs that are in open C, and El Diablo Swing Orchestra and his Thunder Chunky Vikings of Metal. Then I use a Squire. It's a blue 7 string that I use on Impossible Probabilities for a couple songs that are tuned to open. It's GC, GC, GCE, whatever, open G, open C. I don't know what you call it. And then there's one song that I use it. It's just in standard B E A D G B E A D G B E tuning. Then I have a Fernando's Monterey, which is the second guitar I ever got. That sounds incredible. I use it in standard tuning, and once in a while, I'll tune it down a half step if the need arises, and drop D. And that's basically every song on my Elder's Pond grouping of songs is that guitar. And then most of my covers are that guitar because they're in standard tuning. Or in the case of the Devil May Cry song, it's a half step down. And then I have a Squire Stratocaster that I bought on a whim because I liked how it played when I was testing out the processor that I ended up buying. And I use it for whatever I feel like using it for. I tune it to whatever. I kind of like it in open C, but that's that guitar. That it's got a little bit of a soul to it too. It's got a humbucker in the bridge, and it just plays really nice. I might actually buy a heavier set of strings and tune it to open C. I don't know. I'd like to stumble across another one because funny thing with these import guitars is most of them are shit. But every once in a while you will come across one, and I've had a couple people that work at like local reputable music stores that'll tell you the same thing. Once in a blue moon, you will come across one of these foreign made guitars that will just be completely awesome. And my criteria when I buy a guitar is I can tell right away playing it whether or not it's something I can play. And having the guitar feel comfortable in my hands is more important to sound because I can work on the sound later through pickups or whatever. Obviously, if it sounds good from the get-go, that helps and gives me a good jumping off point to upgrade it down the road. But so far, I haven't really done too much. The 7 string might get new pickups here at some point, but the rest of them are pretty much where they're going to be. The only one that's really customized is my Fernandez. The paint chipped over the years, and then when I was younger, you stuck stickers all over it and beer bottle caps and shit like that. And then I took all that stuff off, and the paint was completely fucked by then. So I bought this paint called Crinkle Paint, which is supposed to give it like a nice little crinkly finish. But I don't know if I put on. Well, it says that the heavier the application, the more that it would crinkle. So I was quite generous with the application, and now it looks like it survived a fire. It looks real charred and shit, but it's unique looking and still sounds pretty good. So it's probably my favorite guitar out of all of them. I do have a Fender acoustic that I use once in a while, but few and far between. But and those are the guitars. And the thing I'd like to bring up with the Stratocaster is the Stratocaster. A lot of people feel like metal Stratocasters aren't metal guitars, but this right here, these and granted there's 3 tracks here, but usually I multi-track everything when I do guitars. There's one left, one right, one center. This is the Stratocaster, just for the sake of argument. Like this is just one strat, or just one track. And it sounds good, you know. But, you know, I mean, it sounds nice for these single note passages, but it still has some chunk to it. And when I was younger, you know, like when I started playing guitar when I was 15, I was a huge Metallica fan. And of course, being a Metallica fan, the thing I mainly gravitated towards was James Hetfield's guitar playing. And and I still have huge respect for Hetfield as far as his rhythm playing. And he's a decent solo player too. But you know, very early on, I bought into that whole scooping the mids and all that stuff. And when I was younger, I didn't quite understand how sonic frequencies work together and stuff. So I mean, I was always scooping the mids and dun 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 dun, you know, trying to get that heavy chunk. Uh, and then I started discovering heavier bands like Pantera and shit like that. So especially Pantera with Dimebag, you know, I really got into that heavy chunk because Official Live still has one of the sickest guitar tones ever. It's heavy and it's thick, but it's clear. You know, you can tell what he's playing. And then as I got older, I started and more experienced, I started learning how frequencies blend together and mesh together and things like that. And I realized you didn't have to have the mid scooped to have this big, thick, fat, heavy guitar sound. And that's probably very evident on some of my newer stuff. That was just a joke title. Let's see. No, I think this might be it. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Um, because as I said, you know, I started learning that you don't need to have the mids all scooped out of there to have this big heavy sound. Here we go. This is it. Um, like this, for instance, this is the Squire 7 string, and just listening to the tone, it's got that heavy bottom because I'm playing it on the 7th string, you know. So I mean, there's that way funky, funky, funky. But it's not like back when I was younger, that tone would have irritated me. I would have hated it. I would have not been in. I would have been like, oh, that's it. It's too too much high end and all that. But you throw in once I learned how the frequencies of the bass play with the frequencies of the guitar and everything, then that's when I found out you could have this heavy sound, but you needed the bass. So then I learned that, oh, well, that's how they all flow together, and the bass has that thickness and then you get drums and everything. So like if you throw everything together there, oh, hang on. I don't know why it does that. Why can't it just load up when the song loads up? But all right, there we go. Sorry about that. Then, I finally figured out how to play the frequencies off each other to get that nice little chunk that you get in your stereo recorder, like when you listen to a song through your stereo. And that's how I figured out how to finally make the frequencies play together to do stuff like this. And for years, I mean, I struggled with that. But like I said, I didn't realize, I was just like scoop the mids and make the guitar all chunky. And then once I started recording on my own and learning how everything works together, I figured it out. And I was like, oh, and I basically pieced it together and got my shit straight. Like, I think here's a big chunky part coming up here somewhere. And if I would have still used the same mentality I had, 10 years ago, that would have sounded like a jumbled mess because I would have had all this low end in the guitars, and then once the bass would have got in there, it just would have been a clusterfuck. But getting back on topic, the other stuff I use for recording my stuff is, like I said, I use EZdrummer. The processor I mentioned earlier is a Digitech RP350. 355, and I use that for crazy shit here and there. I downloaded EZmix when I bought everything else, just for just for extra tonal variations and some simplicity. Like this track here specifically, I used Recto Boogie. So like this is what the guitar would sound like without the EZmix. Yeah, just a dry signal straight in. But what I like about this, and I have my favorite, is I can do whatever I want, with minimal fucking around, which is what I like. I can change things on the fly and like especially with this, I mean, this is all guitar stuff right there, and it just gives me a little bit more freedom to do what I want and not spend more time on the music than screwing around with trying to find a sound. I do have my preset sounds that I've programmed into my processor that I like, that I use here and there. Actually, I think why is there no solos? No, should be solos. I use generally I use the Digitech for the solos and stuff, and everything froze. That's awesome. Thanks for freezing while I'm making a video. Oh, there it goes. Oh, here it is. Like here, this is the Digitech by itself, I think. Nope. then I think all I did there was EQ it and add some filter with Easy Mix just to kind of give it a little bit more of a that sound. Generally, I don't have like a strict blueprint that I work with when I work on my own original music. I have like a rough outline and I'll play parts. Like this song in particular, like was only this riff here only played I think like 8 times and it like flew by, so I extended it and stuff like that. And then I'll do takes and generally I go with feeling over perfection. But I do move stuff around, and that's why you see all these little choppy bits here like that. And I'll be like, oh well, I want to change how that sounds there, and things like that. So I'm not a huge perfectionist when it comes to this stuff, especially since it's not like I'm not selling this stuff to make money or anything like that, and I don't have any vocal capabilities, and I don't have a singer or anything like that. So they're basically just ways for me of getting my ideas out there and things like that. And I have a bunch of different plugins that I've acquired that I use here and there, like this one's a good example. I've been having problems with that though, so I don't know if it'll load up quite right. Nope, didn't think so. Demo, finish. Oh no, I can't remember what pad I used now. That sucks. That really sucks. That was like the whole point of finding it. Wait, maybe it's that one. Nope, I already clicked that one, didn't I? Shit. I think we CSADV. No, FM, not the CSADV. I swore that's what it was. But at any rate, hang on. Now I'm determined to find the pad. There it is. Nope. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So I use that for a couple things, and then what's this one? 3 something else. Electric guitar. Oh well, they're gonna give me problems, but like let me see, edit soft synth. I got a couple different soft synths that I use. Probably my favorites, other than obviously the Easy Drummer because I need it, is I like the True Pianos, and I use the Arturia stuff here and there. Not too heavily, but I do use them. Mainly the Arturia was because I wanted this pad for so I could do this because that was the one thing that I couldn't get out of it. But most of the other stuff I use, I'm gonna have to cut real quick and then oh no, I got monitor capture on. Cool. The other stuff I use for recording is And actually, I don't record too much with it, but I do get some synth sounds out of this. They're fairly decent. Let me see. I'm trying to think of something. It's got some decent synthy stuff. Here we go. Keyboard one. Like this here. Like I'll use these, but you can change them up and make them anything really. Some of them sound all right. Some of them sound like crap, but I'm not going to go out and buy. I don't have the money lying around to go out and buy a keyboard, so I use whatever is available to me to get to do the song, and then I output them as MP3s, and generally, like this is older stuff here. Basically everything that was recorded on my previous computer that I don't have the plugins for anymore. I kind of lost them, which sucks, but it is what it is. Like this song here was all. This is the drum kit from hell, and the Digitech processor is the guitar sound. And it's an OpenC, so it's the SG guitar. And same like this one here, I used Guitar Pro for the organs. Like a fake rectifier on the Digitech processor, the Fernandez guitar, and then the drum kit from hell again. Like this is all the Fernandez. With the Digitech, like I didn't have the Easy Mix when these songs were recorded, so this is all the effects and different settings on the processor with that Fernandez. Here we go. Like that slight organ you hear in the background is a Leslie effect on there's a lead synth pad in Guitar Pro 6 called, I think it's just called Huge. I use that with the Leslie speaker, and it's basically, I wrote guitar parts and then I transposed them up an octave to get that sound out of them. I don't think I have any really good synthy stuff. There's a lot of piano at the end of this. So the piano's in there, but you kind of lose it with the guitars. This isn't the easy keys or whatever True Piano's Lite. This was some other piano plugin I had. I think it was with, I had Fruity Loops on my old computer, but that's essentially how I do it. I just use that and then mix everything together, and I double track guitars, especially for heavier stuff. Pan one thing one left, one right, and then every once in a while I will do one with a guitar up the center, like I did for Deadhead. But for the most part, it's just the left and right guitars. And then I got loops that I use, and then I manipulate them through tempo changes, key changes, the Easy Mix or whatever, different noises and shit like that to get the different stuff that I want out of them. And that's pretty much it. I don't have much of a naming scheme. I just name whatever pops into my head when I'm working on it. Like these things here, I kind of went with a theme. I don't know why, but I think this is one where these ones I only Yeah, I double tracked. And then I do different things like I think the mixer I keep dry for the drums, and then I throw on the metal drum bus. And for an overall mix, I've been using the Metal Master bus just to kind of give it a little bit more of a thicker, heavy, fuller sound to it. Like, here, let me see. This is with the Metal Master bus. This is without. It just makes it sound a little bit better. Like I said, I know to some extent it's probably considered like cheating, but it just gives me, like I said, it gives me more time to concentrate on the music itself instead of dicking around mixing, and just makes that process a little bit shorter. Every once in a while too, I like to throw in some drops. Those are loops that I have. Nope, that's not it. From, I think it might have been this. Deep kicks? Yeah, no, that's not it. One shot percussion. It's in there somewhere. Yeah, whatever. You get the point. But that's basically all I use. It's pretty simple. In this day and age, it's not hard for people to get a digital audio workstation going and getting some music out there. Just about, I mean, anybody can really do it. Um, yeah, this is all loop based. I don't have any guitars or anything here. This is just manipulated sounds. You got a full roar, some soundscapes, some bass. Manipulate the bass with easy mix again, not much. It's basically just a little bit of distortion. But yeah, like I said, pretty simple stuff. But again, it was all like, if you guys are curious as to how I make my music and stuff, that's what I use. And then I don't get too creative with the videos for my music. Usually it's just a static picture. I slap it in Movie Maker and put the song in there and stuff like that. Because it's about the music, pretty much. I mean, there's a couple of them I got a little sort of fancy with. But for most of my video editing, I use Movie Studio 13. It's like Vegas Lite without having to pay for Vegas. And that's basically it. So we're going to wrap this up. And that's just my little corner of the world that I use, or where I do my recording and how I do it. If you guys have any questions or whatever, leave a comment, shoot me a message, whatever. I'll try to explain things more in depth. But until then, I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye, guys.